Science shouldn't feel like a closed door. Welcome to Human Verified, your backstage pass to the world of high stakes research and the business of staying alive. My name is Gina Winchester, a Native American scientist, professor, author, and I've created this space where we swap dense academic jargon for fresh, no nonsense insights. Whether I'm deconstructing pharmaceutical breakthroughs, clinical trials, or the how this is legal side of STEM business, I'm here to bridge the gap between the lab bench and your daily life. It's rigorous research met with real world storytelling because understanding how science works is the ultimate power move.
NVIDIA and its partners have solved the data center crisis, and it's just good business. Imagine walking into your backyard and seeing the sleek, quiet box mounted on your outside wall. It looks like a standard home generator, but it holds $250,000 worth of the most powerful AI hardware on the planet. This is the new reality driving a partnership between chip giant NVIDIA, home builder PulteGroup, and smart energy startup Span. Together, they are bypassing the humongous, resource-draining campuses that strain our grids. Instead, they are building a decentralized network of mini data centers called XFRA nodes right on the walls of everyday suburban homes. The magic of the system relies on a simple truth about modern homes. The average household uses less than half the electrical capacity it can access. The setup essentially siphons that wasted power. A smart panel constantly monitors your home's energy habits in real time. The moment your house has extra power sitting idle, the panel routes that surplus straight into the unit. If you decide to crank up the air conditioning or plug in your electric vehicle, the smart panel instantly slashes power to that box to ensure your home gets top priority. High-speed fiber internet connects thousands of units together, transforming a regular subdivision into an invisible cloud data center. Because traditional data centers rely on roaring fans and towers that swallow millions of gallons of water, these residential units use a completely closed-loop liquid cooling system. Much like a sealed car radiator, a set amount of specialized fluid permanently circulates inside a network of pipes to absorb intense heat and release it silently into the ambient air. By trapping fluid indefinitely, the system achieves a near zero water waste without disrupting the peace of a quiet suburban yard. High-speed fiber internet links thousands of individual neighborhood units together across an entire region to create a distributed cloud network. AI companies simply lease the collective computing power just like they would rent space in a giant corporate warehouse. For many companies, a mini data center approach deploys AI infrastructure 6 times faster because they do not have to wait years for utility companies to build new high voltage power lines. For the local community, it turns a predatory relationship into a true partnership, utilizing the infrastructure we already own to power the future. I circle back to data is killing the water supply and draining our power. 20 years ago, data centers were quiet warehouses storing simple emails and websites. Today, the cloud is a heavy, power-hungry reality. Bulky hubs constantly churn through ridiculous amounts of data to maintain your cloud, load videos, and run popular apps all in real time. Also, AI embeds heavy processing into everything we do online. Industry giants are building sprawling, multi-million square foot campuses just to keep up, forcing specialized computers to run scorchingly hot. This hits local communities with a harsh reality. To feed these hubs, Power companies revive dirty energy practices and pass those costs down to families. To keep hot microchips from melting, a data center will compete directly with local communities for the water needed to cool its systems. It creates a geographic injustice. Company profits flow globally, but the negative impact hits locally. Just 10 states, led by Virginia and Texas, absorb 70% of the industry's pollution. Companies flock to these regions for cheap utilities, leaving residents with dried up wells, constant noise, and strained grids. But NVIDIA and its partners are trying to re engineer their footprint. They're using closed loop cooling systems, distributing the burden of the network across greater distances, and then offsetting costs for everyday households. Thankfully, these tap into energy alternatives too. The partnership builds energy alternatives directly into its core design to offset the power consumption. Instead of relying solely on the traditional fossil fuel grid, the system integrates localized, renewable energy components right onto the residential property. Every Pulte Group home fitted with a node can feature a residential solar panel array. During the day, panels generate clean, local electricity that powers both the household and the box, shrinking the entire system's carbon footprint. To keep the system clean after dark, the setup includes a 15 kilowatt hour whole home battery backup that is managed by the SPAN smart panel. The battery stores excess solar energy generated during the peak afternoon sun. Instead of forcing the data center to draw dirty grid power at night, the smart panel pulls clean, stored energy straight from the battery. By prioritizing localized solar and battery storage over traditional power plants, the system also avoids the devastating water footprint of the legacy grid. Standard fossil fuel plants burn through millions of gallons of water just to produce the steam needed to generate electricity. Generating power right onto the homeowner's roof creates a localized microgrid, allowing the hardware to maximize clean energy and protect the environment from indirect water waste entirely. Homeowners get plenty of perks too. Forget everything you know about how tech giants build clunky data centers that take up acres of land and anger entire neighborhoods. This new partnership completely flips the script by using a clever financial trick. It pays everyday people to share their space. Instead of fighting local residents who don't want loud, ugly infrastructure in their backyards, the companies are offering a sweet deal to homeowners. If you participate, the perks start on day one. You don't have to buy any of the pricey hardware, and the crew installs the entire setup on your wall completely free of charge. Then comes the best part. The company steps in and pays your household's entire electricity and internet bills every single month. In return for letting them use your space and your extra power, you just pay them a single flat fee of about $150 a month. When you do the math, that trade-off wipes out your unpredictable utility bills and puts thousands of dollars back into your pocket every year. On the business side of things, a distributed network is a total game changer for the companies running it. When they link 8,000 neighborhood home boxes together, they create the exact same computing power as an ultra-heavy traditional 100 megawatt data center. Because they're tapping into the power lines and suburban land that already exists, they bypass the years of red tape and construction delays that slowed down legacy campuses. The company can deploy a network at a mere fraction of the price. It's a rare win-win where big tech gets its power and local families get a much-needed break on their bills. Look, they solved the data center crisis. When you look at the devastating double whammy that data centers inflict on our resources, a new distributed model turns the problem on its head. Instead of dropping a power hungry data fortress into a community, we can scatter that same computing power across neighborhood rooftops. Shifting from giant centralized facilities to tiny home mounted boxes changes everything by stopping local power grids from breaking down. Usually, when the campuses move into a town, they demand a ridiculous power drop that pushes the utility companies to their limit. Utilities then build expensive new infrastructure and pass those multi-million-dollar bills right down to local families, causing everyday electric rates to skyrocket. Distributing the electrical burden gives us the ability to have the data processing we need without the "are we going to destroy the world" problem. This approach addresses the local tension and heartbreak that comes with building giant data warehouses. Right now, the rapid spread of multi acre campuses into rural areas and sacred tribal lands is causing public outrage. Because many servers are fanless and silent, they blend invisibly into regular residential streets. Communities won't have to fight giant warehouses, absorb heavy local pollution, or hand out corporate tax breaks. While the traditional data center acts as a boisterous entity that might take more than it gives back, a decentralized model turns infrastructure into a quiet tenant that pays rent directly back to local families. Economic benefits to the industry. Giants typically spend a fortune buying huge plots of land to build their campuses, costing about $15 million per megawatt of power. The distributed residential model slashes upfront costs to $3 million per megawatt hour. Because crews attach the hardware right onto the walls of existing or newly built homes, land costs drop to zero, improving the company's bottom line. Ultimately, this partnership changes who actually profits from data centers. Right now, towns hand out heavy tax breaks to lure data centers in, but the automated warehouses only have a small number of employees. With the need for maintenance technicians and repair personnel, the decentralized model brings in the expertise of regular people. We have to remember a few things, though. Some business and political figures remain skeptical. Tapping into a home's extra power doesn't create new electricity. If thousands of houses on the same suburban block start running high powered microservers all at once, it will impact neighborhood transformers and strain local power lines. This leaves taxpayers with the bill for fried utility equipment. Critics also argue that many data centers exploit everyday families by turning their private properties into unpermitted commercial data factories. They also argue that having the extra utility box permanently attached to the house can kill curb appeal and hurt future home values. Meanwhile, engineers point out that keeping data centers under one roof just makes more sense. Technicians will have to tackle tricky security issues, rapid hardware upgrades, and logistical headaches for routine maintenance, compared to tightly controlled central warehouses. AI computers operate best when thousands of chips are packed tightly together, communicating at lightning fast speeds. Forcing data to travel across scattered suburban networks slows down processing times by fractions of a second, which might still affect how we train complex AI models. These are important considerations and something I will be looking to NVIDIA, PulteGroup, and SPAN to solve in the coming years. There is no doubt that this innovation is vital to the future of data centers, but we can't overlook the issues brought up by the critics. Where we are and where it's going. Pulte Group has already installed the first wave of these neighborhood testing units in select master planned communities. The partnership aims to launch a formal 100 home pilot across Nevada and Arizona later this year, with an ambitious goal to scale up further by 2027. It directly tackles the core bottlenecks threatening our communities. By breaking one big power problem into tiny pieces, the system employs underutilized household energy instead of demanding new taxpayer subsidized grid buildouts. Because these wall mounted nodes rely on closed loop cooling, they eliminate the need to siphon water from local aquifers. There is no question that a mini data center network is an incredible breakthrough. We do not have to give up our environment for improved processing power. We can do both. I am looking forward to seeing how this partnership rolls out and how it handles the unknown hurdles that always come up with new innovation. Thank you for spending this time with me today.